Hello, my dear friends. Have you ever noticed how effortlessly some people describe their day? From the moment they wake up to the time they go to bed, speaking English with confidence and natural flow? Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and surprisingly simple strategies for building fluency when talking about your daily routine: direct thinking techniques. By the end of this script, you'll have a deep understanding of what direct thinking is, why it works, and exactly how to practice it so that speaking about your daily life feels as natural as breathing. Let's get started. Why focus on your daily routine? Your daily routine is a goldmine for language practice. It's familiar, meaningful, and packed with repeatable segments: morning rituals, work or study tasks, meals, exercise, hobbies, and evening wind down. Because you experience these events every day, you always have fresh material to talk about, and you already know the sequence of actions. That makes it much easier to focus on how you speak rather than what you're saying. What is direct thinking? At its core, direct thinking means forming your thoughts directly in English, without translating from your native language. Instead of thinking, I need to brush my teeth in your mother tongue, and then converting it, you learn to think in English from the get-go. This bypasses the mental detour of translation, speeds up your speaking, and helps you build an English-only mindset. How direct thinking builds fluency eliminates translation delays. Every time you translate, your brain takes extra time. With direct thinking, you cut out that pause, so your words flow more smoothly. Encourages natural phrasing. When you think in English, you naturally adopt English sentence structures, collocations, and idioms, rather than awkward literal translations. Boosts confidence. Speaking becomes less effortful because your brain is already operating in English. That confidence makes you more willing to speak up and practice. Reinforces vocabulary and context. You learn words and phrases as part of real scenarios: your morning coffee, your commute, your work tasks, so they stick more effectively. Step-by-step guide to practicing direct thinking. 1. Choose your daily routine, segments. Break your day into manageable chunks. For example, morning wake up, alarm, stretching, bathroom routine. Breakfast time, cooking, eating, reading the news. Commute or transition, walking, driving, public transport. Work, study blocks, checking emails, meetings, lessons. Lunch break, menu choices, conversations. Afternoon tasks, projects, exercises, calls. Evening activities, dinner, relaxation, hobbies. Pre-sleep routine, reading, planning tomorrow too. Build core phrase, banks. For each segment, write down or record yourself saying simple, high-frequency phrases in English. For example, for morning wake-up, I open my eyes and turn off the alarm. I stretch my arms and legs to wake up. I head to the bathroom to brush my teeth. Focus on complete sentences. This trains your brain to think in full English thoughts. Third, mental rehearsal in English. Choose one segment each day. Close your eyes and visualize yourself going through that part of your routine. As you imagine each action, narrate it silently in English, using your phrase, bank. Go step by step. I sit up in bed. I put my feet on the floor. I walk to the bathroom. I pick up my toothbrush. Do this for 2 to 3 minutes. Over time, increase the duration. 4. Speak out loud. Unofficial shadowing. After mental rehearsal, speak the same narration out loud, without looking at your notes. This is a form of shadowing, but you're shadowing your own thoughts. Pay attention to pronunciation. Are you clear and confident? Intonation. Do your sentences rise and fall naturally? Pacing. Are you rushing or speaking too slowly? 5. Record and playback. Use your phone to record yourself narrating the segment. Then listen back and note any unnatural pauses, repeated hesitations, um, uh, words or phrases you struggled with. Adjust your phrase bank to smooth out those spots and practice again. Expand with details and feelings. Once you're comfortable with basic narration, add details and emotions. I take a long, satisfying stretch this morning. It helps me shake off sleepiness and feel energized for the day. This depth of description not only builds richer vocabulary, but also makes your speech more engaging. Integrating direct thinking into everyday life. Morning audio journal right after breakfast. Spend 5 minutes recording a voice memo of your morning routine in English. Over weeks, this becomes a habit and a powerful fluency booster. Commuter commentary. If you commute, silently narrate your journey in English, observing scenery, predicting traffic, planning your day. Lunchtime lingual moments. Describe what you're eating or what you plan to do in the afternoon to yourself or to a friend. Evening reflection before bed. Think through your day in English. Highlights, challenges, lessons learned. These micro practices ensure you're constantly thinking in English, not just in formal study sessions. Common pitfalls and how to overcome them. Reluctance to speak out loud. You might feel self-conscious recording yourself. Remind yourself that no one else needs to hear it. It's just for you. Jumping ahead too fast. Don't try to narrate your entire day at once. Break it into segments and focus deeply on one at a time. Overemphasis on perfection fluency is about flow, not flawless grammar. If you hesitate to speak because of fear of mistakes, you'll lose the momentum direct thinking provides. Embrace imperfections as part of learning. Translation, sneaking back in notice. When you revert to your native language, maybe when you hit a tricky word or concept. Pause. Replace that thought with an English alternative, even if it's paraphrased, and continue. Sample daily routine monologue, putting it all together. This morning, I woke up feeling refreshed after a good night's sleep. I stretched my arms above my head, enjoying that first moment of calm before the day begins. I walked to the bathroom, switched on the light, and brushed my teeth with slow, deliberate strokes. Next, I prepared a cup of coffee, measuring the grounds, pouring hot water, and inhaling that delightful aroma. While sipping my coffee, I glanced at the headlines on my phone, mentally mapping out my tasks. Finish the report, schedule a meeting with my team, and go for an afternoon jog. After breakfast, I grabbed my backpack and headed out the door, listening to my favorite podcast as I walked to the train station. The day felt full of promise, and I was ready to dive in. Use this as a model, practice it, adapt it to your own life, and soon you'll narrate your daily routine with ease and confidence. Interactive practice exercises. Silent narration walk. Take a 5-minute walk, indoors or outside, and silently narrate everything you see and do in English. Describe your surroundings, your posture, and even your sensory impressions. I step onto the sidewalk, feeling the cool morning breeze on my face. I notice a bright yellow flower blooming by the fence. Mirror monologue. Stand in front of a mirror and give a 1 to 2 minute monologue about a segment of your routine. Watch your facial expressions and gestures. This helps align your body language with your spoken English. Focus on conveying emotion. I sip my coffee slowly, savoring each warm, bitter sip that wakes me up. Daily routine journaling, voice and text combo. In a single daily session, first write a short paragraph about a routine segment, then immediately voice record yourself reading it. Compare the written and spoken versions. Note any differences in structure or expression, and adjust your phrasing for more natural speech. Flashcard drill with context. Create flashcards, not just with words, but with mini sentences describing your routine. On one side, brush my teeth. On the other, I brush my teeth carefully, making sure to reach every corner. Quiz yourself. Instead of just reading the sentence, expand on it. Add an extra detail each time. Role play scenarios. Partner up with a friend, tutor, or language exchange partner, and take turns role playing these everyday scenarios, always speaking in English. Roommate check in. You've just woken up, and your roommate walks in. Narrate your morning routine in a conversational way. Hey, good morning. I just made some coffee. Would you like a cup? Virtual team stand up. Pretend it's your daily work stand up meeting. Briefly summarize your morning tasks. This morning, I reviewed the client feedback and drafted the project outline. Next, I'll schedule the meeting with design. Family chat. Share your evening routine as if updating a family member. After dinner, I usually take a short walk around the block. It helps me digest and clear my head. These role plays force you to shift from self-narration to audience-focused speech, teaching you to anticipate questions and respond in real time. Advanced tips for deepening your practice. Think in themes, not just actions. As you narrate, weave in themes or moods. This morning routine feels peaceful, like a calm before the storm of a busy day. Use mind maps in English on paper or a whiteboard. Draw a map of your routine segment, all in English. For example, for breakfast: coffee, pour water, scent, sip, read news, plan day. As you draw, think and speak each branch in English. Question and answer, self-interview. Ask yourself questions in English, then answer them. For instance, Q. Why do you prefer brewing coffee at home? A. I love the control it gives me over strength and flavor, and it saves money compared to cafes. Incorporate idioms and phrasal verbs. Challenge yourself to swap a simple phrase for a more natural expression. I wake up. I roll out of bed. I drink coffee. I gulp down my coffee. Timed spontaneous narration. Set a timer for 60 seconds and narrate one segment as fast as you can without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes. Focus on flow. Then replay, note issues, and try again. Tracking your progress. Fluency journal. Keep a dedicated notebook or digital document. Each entry notes the segment, practice date and duration of practice. New vocabulary or structures, learned self-rating, 1 to 5. On confidence and smoothness. Monthly audio comparison, record the same routine segment on the first day of each month. At month's end, listen to comparisons. Celebrate improvements in speed, clarity, and expressiveness. Error log. Log recurring hesitations, mispronunciations, or grammar issues. Periodically review and target those areas in focused mini-sessions. Building a supportive community. Learning thrives in community. Here's how to connect. Language exchange partners. Find partners whose native language is English. Trade 15 minutes of you speaking in English about your routine for 15 minutes of them practicing your native language. Online study groups. Join or form a small group, 2 to 5 people, that meets weekly. Each member presents a short narrated routine, and the group provides friendly feedback. Social media microposts. Post a 30-second audio clip or a short written diary entry about your routine on platforms like Instagram Stories or a dedicated Facebook group, inviting peers to comment and engage. Resources and tools. Voice recording apps. Voice memos. iOS. Smart recorder. Android. Speech analysis. Tools apps that provide feedback on pronunciation and pacing, e.g., Elsa Speak, Pronunciation Power. Digital flashcard platforms Anki or Quizlet, where you can create context-rich sentence cards, online communities, Reddit's R, English learning, language exchange sites like Tandem, HelloTalk bonus daily challenge for the next 14 days. Pick one routine segment per day and apply all 4 steps of direct thinking practice. Phrase bank creation, silent mental rehearsal, out loud narration and recording, reflection and expansion with details. Keep track in your fluency journal and notice how, by day 14, your natural speed and confidence have soared. In this story, you'll follow Alex, an English learner who discovers the power of direct thinking to transform his daily routine into a fluent, natural practice. Rather than memorizing lists or translating in his head, Alex learns to narrate every moment of his day in English, directly. No detours through his native language. Through his experiences, challenges, and small victories, you'll see firsthand how turning everyday activities into a living language lab can build confidence, broaden vocabulary, and make speaking feel effortless. Read along as Alex applies the techniques of silent mental rehearsal, out loud narration, and creative expansion, proving that fluency isn't born in classrooms alone, but in the simple acts of living.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I used to dread speaking English. Every morning, my mind raced in my mother tongue. What will I say? How will I say it? By the time I translated my thoughts, the moment had passed. But one ordinary Tuesday, I decided to change everything. It started with my alarm. Instead of grumbling in silence, I opened my eyes and thought, I roll out of bed and stretch my arms wide. Those words popped directly into my mind. No translation. I pictured myself stretching, long and slow, feeling my muscles wake up. Then I whispered out loud, I roll out of bed and stretch my arms wide to greet the day. That single sentence felt strange at first, but also empowering. In the bathroom, I looked at my toothbrush and said, I brush my teeth carefully, making sure to clean every corner. My reflection nodded back, oddly proud. I realized this wasn't about perfect grammar. It was about training my brain to think in English while doing something I did every day. Downstairs, I brewed my coffee. Steam curled into the air as I narrated. I pour hot water over fresh grounds, inhaling the rich aroma that energizes me. With each sip, I practiced adding a detail. The warmth spreads through me, like a friendly hug. Suddenly, my breakfast routine became a mini performance, a chance to flex my English muscles before the real world. On my commute, I closed my eyes for a moment, safely while seated, and silently described the passing scenery. I feel the gentle sway of the bus. I hear the chatter of fellow passengers. Then I'd whisper it. I hear the bus engine hum and the soft conversations around me. Commuting transformed from idle scrolling into an opportunity for direct thinking practice. At the office, I sat in front of my computer and imagined a virtual audience. I narrated my tasks. I opened my inbox and scanned for urgent messages. I draft replies that are clear and polite. When a coworker asked a question, I found myself responding more smoothly. The direct thinking habit had kicked in. I no longer paused for translation. My mind reached into English, pulled out the right phrase, and spoke. Lunch was always challenging. I struggled to explain menu items or small talk with the cashier. Now I marched up confidently and said, "Good afternoon. I'd like a chicken sandwich with extra lettuce, please." Simple, but it felt like victory. I narrated every bite. The crisp lettuce adds a refreshing crunch to the savory chicken. By describing the flavors, I cemented food-related vocabulary. That evening, I decided to add variety. Instead of narrating the same routines, I invited my friend Mira to join a story swap. I began, "After work, I head to the park for a short run." Mira listened and then asked follow-up questions. "What does the park look like today?" I paused, then answered without translating, "The grass is bright green, dotted with daisies, and a soft breeze rustles the leaves." Her smile showed me I sounded more natural than ever. Back home, I tried the mirror monologue. I stood in front of my bedroom mirror and described my evening ritual. I prepare a light dinner, grilled vegetables and rice. I set the table by the window so I can watch the sunset. I gestured at my reflection, and for the first time, I didn't feel self-conscious. I felt like an actor in my own life story, telling it in English. Before bed, I recorded a voice memo. Today was the first day I thought directly in English all day. I felt more confident and connected. I'm excited to see how this habit grows. Listening back, I noticed a few ums and slight pauses, areas to refine tomorrow. Over the next weeks, my morning narration became a habit. I tracked my progress in a small notebook. Date, routine segment, new phrases learned, confidence rating. By the end of the month, phrases like, "I stretch my arms like a cat waking up," and "I sip my coffee as the sun peeks over the rooftops," flowed naturally. One weekend, I joined a language exchange meetup. Sitting in a circle, I introduced myself. "Hello, I'm Alex. Today I'd like to share how I transformed my daily routine by thinking in English." As I spoke, stories of my mornings, commutes, and meals spilled out effortlessly. My new friends asked me for tips, and I found myself teaching the very techniques that once felt so strange. That weekend changed everything, but my journey was far from over. A few days later, I woke up to an unexpected challenge. My company had scheduled me to give a short presentation in English at our Monday morning meeting. A wave of nerves hit me. Months ago, the thought of presenting in English would have sent me into a panic. Now I saw it as my next opportunity to apply direct thinking. On Sunday evening, I sat at my desk with a fresh notebook and my voice recorder. I broke down the presentation into 3 parts: greeting the team, outlining my key points, and closing with questions. For each part, I drafted concise English sentences. "Good morning, everyone. Today I'd like to share our progress on the marketing campaign. First, we analyzed the data from our social media ads. Second, we refined our target demographics. Finally, we designed new creatives based on audience feedback." Thank you for listening. I welcome any questions or suggestions. Instead of translating from my native language, I visualized myself in the conference room, speaking those lines directly in English. I rehearsed silently, then aloud, standing at my makeshift podium, a stack of books on my desk. Each time I stumbled on demographics or creatives, I paused, took a breath, and repeated the phrase until it felt natural. I recorded each rehearsal and listened back, noting where I could improve intonation or reduce hesitation. When Monday morning arrived, my heart pounded as I walked into the meeting room. The familiar faces of my colleagues looked up expectantly. I took a deep breath and hit record on the little recorder in my pocket, more for my own confidence than necessity. Then I began, "Good morning, everyone. Today I'd like to share our progress on the marketing campaign." My voice was steady. I felt the words flow, unimpeded by translation pauses. As I moved through the 3 key points, I glanced at my teammates and saw nods of understanding and encouragement. When I finished, "Thank you for listening. I welcome any questions or suggestions." The room burst into polite applause. Relief and exhilaration washed over me. I had done it. Spoken English directly, confidently, in a real-world setting. That afternoon, I returned to my routine narration with renewed energy. I described the meeting to myself, every gesture, every smile. I presented with clarity and composure. The room was filled with engaged colleagues. When Sarah asked about the timeline, I said, "We expect to launch the new creatives by May 10th, and she smiled, saying, "That sounds great." By articulating the experience, I reinforced the success and cemented my confidence even further. In the following weeks, I noticed my daily narrations growing richer. I started weaving short anecdotes into my silent practice. On Thursday, I stopped by the cafe for my mid-morning coffee. The barista greeted me by name and asked if I wanted my usual. I replied, "Yes, please. Your cappuccino with extra foam always brightens my day." These small stories added color and personality to my practice. People began to recognize me at the cafe, and our friendly exchanges became another unofficial language lab. One evening, as I lay in bed reflecting, I realized something. My entire life, mundane chores, commutes, conversations, had become a tapestry of English practice. Direct thinking was no longer a technique, it was a mindset. I no longer translated, I simply thought and spoke. Months later, I sat down to write an email to my mentor, Mira. "Dear Mira, I can hardly believe how far I've come. From whispering sentences in my bathroom to presenting in front of the team, direct thinking has transformed my English and my confidence. Thank you for encouraging me to keep going. I look forward to the day I'll coach others to do the same. Warmly, Alex." Pressing send felt like another milestone. I wasn't just a learner anymore. I was someone who could teach, inspire, and lead by example. That night, I drifted off to sleep, thinking in English. Today, I celebrated a win in my language journey. Tomorrow, I'll wake up, roll out of bed, and stretch my arms wide, because every new day is another chance to speak, grow, and live fluently. And that became my truth. Fluency isn't a destination, but a daily commitment to think directly, to speak boldly, and to embrace every moment as an opportunity to learn.